1110 Syrian harbour city Sedon surrenders to Crusaders. In 1154 Adrian IV elected Pope. The only Englishman to become pontiff, Nicholas Breakspear was a member of the family, which until recent years brewed beer in Henley-on-Thames, Oxfordshire. In 1197 Crusaders wound Rabbi Elezar ben Judah. In 1259 Treaty of Paris, English King Henry Roman III and French King Louis Roman IX end 100 years of conflict between the Capetian and Plantagenet dynasties. In 1489 Battle of Baza, Spanish army captures Baza from Moors. In 1563 Council of Trent holds its last session after 18 years, the last ecumenical council for more than 300 years. In 1619 38 colonists from Berkeley Parish, England, disembark in Virginia and give thanks to God, considered by many the first Thanksgiving in the Americas. In 1644 First European Peace Congress opens in Munster. In 1655 Middelburg, Netherlands forbids building of synagogue. Alexandre le Grand 1665 Jean Racine's tragedy Alexandre le Grand premieres at the Palais Royal Theater in Paris. In 1674 Father Marquette builds first dwelling in what is now Chicago. In 1676 Battle of Lund. A Danish army under the command of King Christian V of Denmark engages the Swedish army commanded by Field Marshal Simon Grundel-Helmfelt. In 1680 hen in Rome lays a uniquely patented egg, later believed to have predicted the arrival of the Kirch-Newton Great Comet of 1680. In 1682 First General Assembly in Pennsylvania, Chester. Churchill Switches Allegiance 1688 General John Churchill, later 1st Duke of Marlborough, changes allegiance from James Roman II to William of Orange. In 1691 Emperor Leopold I takes control of Transylvania. In 1691 Spanish King Carlos Roman II names Maximilian Roman II as Viceroy of Southern Netherlands. In 1745 Bonnie Prince Charles reaches Derby. In 1783 General Washington bids officers farewell at France's Tavern Neck. In 1791 Britain's The Observer is first published and becomes the world's oldest Sunday newspaper. In 1798 rebellious Flemish farmers occupy Hasselt. In 1812 Peter Gaillard of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, patents a horse-drawn mower. James Monroe Elected 1816 James Monroe is elected to become the 5th President of the United States, defeating Rufus King of the Federalist Party. In 1829 Britain outlaws sati in India, a Hindu practice, where a widow burns herself to death on her husband's funeral pyre. In 1832 French army begins bombing citadel of Antwerp. In 1833 American Anti-Slavery Society formed by Arthur Tappan in Philadelphia. In 1836 Whig Party holds its first national convention, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. In 1843 Manila paper made from sails, canvas, and rope patented in Massachusetts. Paradise, and the Perry 1843 Robert Schumann's Oratorio das Paradies und die Perry Paradise, and the Perry premieres in Leipzig. In 1851 President Louis Napoleon Boaparte's forces crush an attempted coup d'état in France. In 1864 Battle of Waynesboro is fought in eastern Georgia, between Judson Kilpatrick's Union Cavalry and Joseph Wheeler's Confederate Cavalry. In 1864 Romanian Jews are forbidden to practice law. In 1867 former Minnesota farmer Oliver Hudson Kelley founds the Order of the Patrons of Husbandry, better known today as the Grange. Tweed Escapes Jail 1875 Influential New York politician William Magear Tweed, boss Tweed at Tammany Hall, escapes from jail, where he was being held for embezzlement, flees to Spain, but later recaptured. In 1881 the first edition of the Los Angeles Times newspaper is published. In 1889 explorer Henry Morton Stanley's expedition reaches Agamoyo in Indian Ocean. 1899 56th Congress 1899-1901 convenes. In 1899 Webb Hayes, son of U.S. President Rutherford Hayes, receives Medal of Honor. In 1901 Anne Russell's Playgirl and the Judge premieres in New York. Alfred Balfour resigns 1905 British Prime Minister Arthur Balfour resigns after 3 years in office. In 1906 Alpha Phi Alpha, First Black Greek Letter Fraternity, reforms. In 1908, Haiti's President General Alexis Nord flees from military coup. In 1908, the world's 10 leading maritime nations attend a naval conference in London. They agree on rules for blockade, convoys, and seizure of contraband. In 1909, oldest still operating NHL franchise is officially established as J. Ambrose O'Brien and Jacques Lavalette create the Club de Hockey Canadien, known today as the Montreal Canadiens. Federal League 1914, Walter Johnson accepts an advance from the Chicago Whales of the Federal League. Washington Senators owner Clark Griffith threatens to take Johnson to court. In 1915, Frank Friday Fletcher is first U.S. Admiral to receive Congressional Medal of Honor. Ford's Peace Ship 1915, Henry Ford's Peace Ship, Oscar Roman II, sails for Europe to get the boys out of the trenches by Christmas. In 1915, Ku Klux Klan receives charter from Fulton County, Georgia. In 1915, Panama Pacific International Exposition closes in San Francisco. Wilson sails for Versailles. 1918, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson sails for the Versailles Peace Conference in France. 1920, first pro football playoff game, Buffalo 7, Canton 3 at Polo Grounds, Nick. In 1921, American Professional Football Association Championship, Cubs Park, Chicago. Chicago Steelers beat Buffalo All-Americans 10-7 in de facto championship game after teams tied in standings. In 1921, the Virginia rap manslaughter trial against Roscoe Fata Arbuckle ends in a hung jury. In 1922, Lucille Acheson becomes the first woman admitted to the U.S. Foreign Service. In 1923, the first U.S. helium-filled dirigible, the USS Shenandoah, makes its first flight. In 1923, WEEF Radio begins broadcasting Everedia, our variety show. In 1927, Dmitri Shostakovich's Symphony No. 2 premieres in Moscow. In 1928, Walter Donaldson Gus Kahn's musical Whoopee, starring Eddie Cantor, premieres on Broadway at the New Amsterdam Theatre. Nick runs for 407 performances. In 1930, Vatican approves rhythm method for birth control. Chancellor Kurt